Welcome everyone who is listening or watching to the Styling Advisory podcast. I am talking with Chelsea Brice, who is an award-winning personal stylist from Melbourne and Christchurch, sort of, spread over two places. And I would like to say welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yay. Before we get into it, Chelsea, I'm just going to let everyone know that's watching this interview not to judge my fingernails. I have decided I can't be bothered to keep up SNS. And so it's ruined my nails. They're all broken. So I can either talk like this with claws, or I can just feel freely like no one's going to judge me. So I think we'll
love
do
it.
that. Okay.
Love it. Just do
Beautiful.
you.
I'm just going to do me. So Chelsea, I'm excited to chat with you because as a personal stylist who really ramped up during the COVID period, you now have a business where you've got stylists working under the Chelsea Brice brand in every state across Australia, which I think is a phenomenal achievement. So we'd like to know how in the hell you did that. Tell us everything, please.
An accident, really. I stepped into COVID being a solo stylist. I was absolutely slammed in the few years before COVID. I was taking 2 to 3 clients a day, and I just didn't have the time to, think. I didn't have a spare minute to think about bringing on a team, but it was always in the back of my mind. And then COVID hit, and me and my partner also made the decision to move to Christchurch, and my business was just going so well here that I couldn't give it up. So I thought, let's hire a stylist for Melbourne. And it snowballed from there. Then I got a PA because I just couldn't keep up with all the emails that were coming through and all the admin and also doing the styling. So then the world opened back up, and we realized that we kind of needed another stylist in Melbourne because we were just getting booked out. I think after COVID, everybody had that time to reflect and realize how important feeling good in what you wear is, and how important getting back out there and just not stressing. And the accident was that Mel and her family decided to move to Brisbane, and she was not somebody that I was going to let go of, and she didn't want to let go of me. So we decided to open up in Brisbane. And then I had Amelia, who also just happened to have an opportunity to move to New Zealand. So I didn't want to give up her either. And we just don't want to leave each other because we've got such a tight-knit team that we've now just expanded into Auckland and Brisbane and
Sydney?
No, not Sydney. No.
Okay.
Melbourne, Brisbane, Auckland, Christchurch.
Beautiful. Okay, so I'll amend my opening statement. Do you know what I in my mind, because you've got some fabulous photos on your website of you and your team, and I just kind of looked at that number and went, I've just allocated them all a state in Australia in my
I now have Jade. Yeah, I've now brought on Jade, who is Melbourne based. So we'll have Nancy and Jade in Melbourne. I'll be back and forth. Have Amelia in Auckland and Mel in Brisbane.
Beautiful. I mean, I've got more questions, but I want to double back because for any stylist listening, the opportunity to be so booked out and slammed is one that is welcomed by all. So I'm sure everyone's just listening to this thinking, how in the actual hell did you do that? Because it is a really competitive industry now. And I know I've got a bit of insight, working with you or just understanding what people engage with, but I'd love to hear from your words. What do you think was the biggest catalyst for your business getting to a position where you're getting so many emails coming through and so many bookings that you're actually needing to bring on staff?
Yeah, I think I was very consistent with my posting and making sure there was a really good mix. It wasn't just me in outfits, it was clients, it was testimonials, it was how we do things, and just being really consistent. Videos made a massive, massive difference. And I am someone who just keeps investing in my business. Like, that's massive for me. If I can't do something, I will get someone who can do it. that's how I've been able to grow, is just keep investing in the business and myself as well too, my mindset and coaching and things like that. But yeah.
So if we take social media posting, right? And you said videos work now, and videos do work, but the obvious question is, what type of content, and what do you think's really resonated when if you were to have a look over the last few months, and you have a look at some of your video posts, what do you think it is within those video posts that's making people go, okay, I trust her, I'm just going to bite the bullet, I'm sick of looking at my wardrobe and hating it and hating how I feel in my clothing? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I think it's really speaking into those concerns and acknowledging those concerns. It's not just all about style tips and, how to wear a pair of jeans. It's, talking about, I know how they get up each morning and they walk to their wardrobe and, they've tried on 5 outfits and then they're late and then they're stressed and then they walk out the door and they bump into somebody and they just want to hide. So talking about all those emotions that they're really going to connect with, I find brings in the clients.
Yes. And that's probably relevant for you also because from reading about your backstory, your relationship with shopping and clothing and what you used to have was not as it is today. So do you think that sort of personal journey and the fact that you keep talking back to that point of, I used to be where you are, now I'm just a few years ahead. So trust me when I say this is the method?
Yep, 100%. Personal experiences. I talk about client experiences. I don't necessarily talk about the client's name and everything, but I might just, jump in the car after a wardrobe session and just talk about the points that, was missing in her wardrobe or where she's going wrong or,
That's a great, that for anyone, I would, if I could hold up a sign right now and go, this is something to write down, everyone. That's a really, really bloody interesting suggestion. So when you get in the car after a client session, almost as if you're commenting on a dictaphone, but instead you're using your iPhone and talking about, that's so smart. Say more things about that.
I don't care that I'm in a car. I don't want to be super perfect because my clients are real everyday people. Sometimes they're scared of perfection. So me just jumping in a car and I'm often quite excited. Everything's fresh in my head and I just bam it out and post it.
So good. I think I'll start again. My brain's exploding quietly inside. What I love about that is the fact that you are sharing the most important information that someone else, a similar potential client, is in. So for example, if you've just try and give me an example of one, just cast your mind back to the last session. What would some of the things be that you'd say?
Cool, that I've just stepped into a beautiful client's wardrobe and we really acknowledge that she's great at buying all these beautiful, creative, fun pieces, but she struggles buying anything to bring them all together. So the shopping session next week is really going to be focused on, filling that hit list of all the staples that will bring all that color and fun together and really make it relate to her lifestyle.
Yes. This is exactly the problem that we're looking as customers, as clients, that we are looking to solve. And I really love that because I think a lot of people have heard me talk about this. Yes, the emotion behind styling and clothing, feeling good, confidence, your sense of self, your sense of identity and self-esteem are all important things. But that is not what I'm typing into Google for. I am not typing into Google at 10 o'clock at night, ideas to boost self-esteem. I will be like, everyday smart casual outfit, date night outfit, whatever it might be. And so when you're creating content like a TikTok or an Instagram reel, Facebook, whatever the platform is that you're using, if you're able to share that specific information, the concerns the buyer has, which is, I've got a theatrical wardrobe behind me and I don't have any of those connecting pieces, which means I can't actually create multiple outfits. That's exactly what people want to hear. So I would be encouraging people to try that this week when they listen to this. But let's move on. I want to double back to your team, because for those listeners that maybe have a position similar to yours, where they're kind of at their, energetic and physical capacity on taking on more clients, and they'd like to bring someone in, most people will start with one person. I just want to ask a couple of questions on their behalf, and I'm just going to guess what those questions might be. Number one, would you recommend bringing in someone that is at your level or a junior? Discuss.
Oh, if I want, oh, good question, actually. I personally wouldn't bring on a junior. They'd need to have experience 100% if they were just taking clients on their own. Yes, they need to be at my level or, somewhere near that. But no, I wouldn't employ a junior if they were taking clients on their own.
Okay, so the only way you'd probably consider it the method method behind bringing someone in that's a junior would obviously be that you can train them up and to your standard or to your brand expectations, but then that's going to be a longer length of time before you can actually let them take clients on their own. So it's a little bit of a different business model at that stage, isn't it?
So I actually probably employed both options. I employed a senior stylist to take clients on their own, and then I employed Nancy, who was our she was our PA and my styling assistant. So she came on the shopping trips with me. She'd be contacting the clients. She'd be doing all the back end stuff. 2 years later, she's now a senior stylist. So I guess it's whether you want somebody assisting you on your jobs to make your life a little bit easier, which is probably a good place to start, or whether you actually have the capacity to give somebody else new clients.
And when you took on the senior stylist, did you have to spend much time doing, from a corporate perspective, we'd be sort of talking about like a handover or an induction to make sure they understand how you do things, or were you just talk me through the process of making sure that they don't come in and blow up your business?
Yeah. So I trained at Australian Style Institute. They're very specific in their training. I had met Mel there once, like 5 years beforehand, and she was just someone who was always in the back of my mind. She just made a massive impact on me. So I just jumped on the phone and had a chat to her. And, she's an amazing stylist, but, she wasn't very good at marketing herself and trying to get the clients and things like that, which is why she came on board with me. She came on some shopping sessions with me, did some assisting just to see how I do things. But otherwise, I knew everything else was aligned. I'd read her testimonials. They were incredible. She'd also won awards through Australian Style Institute. So she was a winner.
Very lucky. That's a great find. Okay, so that's clear. Hiring a senior stylist or hiring a junior, depending on what you need. And any lessons, before we move on, I'm just thinking for stylists that might be considering doing this, any lessons, any contract advice or anything, in terms of how you structure your financial model?
Yep. Do you mean as in writing contracts or what?
Yeah. I'm just thinking, if you do bring someone onto your team, again, not being a stylist, but the first thing I would think of is we want to make sure that you retain the relationship with the client long term. So did you get someone to help you write a contract for that?
No, I have so far the women that I have brought on, I trust. I so trust. If I expanded any further than this, I definitely would. But I guess because all these women I had known from the past. So
yeah.
I guess,
they're not complete strangers.
They're not complete strangers. So yes, if it was a complete stranger, 100%, I would want a contract. Yep.
I think that's really great advice, because it means that for people listening, if they've got someone in mind that they know and trust, that doesn't need to be a barrier for them getting together and working with them straight away. But I think that's fantastic. If you don't know the person, then making sure that you're considering that. What is my next question? I want to talk about the virtual styling side, because you've obviously been in a position where you have built up your in-person one-on-one sessions. Now you've relocated to NZ and you've got a team working with you. So what's been the evolution of virtual styling and shopping services in your business over the last few years?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's taken me a little bit of time because I'm not that great with technology, but I really know how important this is to evolve my business and grow me as a person. So although it's taken a little bit longer than I expected, I have definitely put in the work, and I have created an online course for women at home to be able to understand the processes of how we style our clients so that they can do that themselves for them. Virtual styling, I do virtual top-up shops with clients that I previously worked with. And with your help, I'm going to be doing much more.
Yes. Well, I mean, I would say you're actually not, I think you're fantastic with technology. You've been creating ShopShare shopcasts, so shoppable videos and shop boards, which are fantastic, and I know that they're really highly engaged with your audience, and that component means that you've got that sort of commission or passive income, you know, in the background. And the course as well, I think that's really smart, the idea of condensing all of your knowledge, which someone would normally have to pay quite a premium for if they're working with you one-on-one, being able to distill that into an on-demand course that people can take at home, is a fantastic way of adding a virtual styling component to your business. How long did that take to put that together?
Yeah, well, it started as an ebook. I wrote an ebook in the 2020 lockdown, and then somebody said, "Oh, you should actually make this into an online course." So 2021 was about making that into an online course.
Yeah.
So
how was that for you? Because
yeah,
I didn't know you then, so I wouldn't have been able to help in any way. What was the experience like doing it on your own?
I loved writing it. That was not an issue. I loved making it all pretty and creating it. I just, all the video editing and things like that. I just wish I had someone who could have given me a little bit of direction, and probably that's where I should have got the help to speed things up a little bit.
Yeah. It's a good point to make, actually. One component of creating an online course is being able to extract all of that information, all the technical stuff, all of your experience and expertise into a linear journey that someone can follow. But the other element, the other sort of component, is making sure that that information is digested in a way where people don't get overwhelmed, where they feel that it is valuable, where they feel that they are getting some element of accountability. So it is a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely was a challenge, but I got there in the end.
You did, and it looks fantastic now. And it's great, I think, also. So you've got a business now where you've got people working for you in different cities for the one-on-one sessions. You've got your online course, which means people can do that. That's self-led or on demand, meaning people can sign up and absorb all the information in, you know, whatever they would like in one day and weekend, what have you. And then you've also got the virtual styling, the shopcasts as well. So there's quite a lot of moving parts to your business now, which is remarkable considering where you were pre-COVID and today, sitting in the Swiss Alps, it looks like.
Yeah. Let's call it that.
It's amazing. So what do you think was the hardest component of your business to set up, out of interest?
I think the actual layout of the course, I really think I would have loved to have gotten help prior, instead of just trying to figure it out on my own.
That's a really great answer, because it sounds like I've set you up for a promo for the Going Virtual program, but I didn't mean to. I was genuinely not knowing, but because you are someone that has all of the elements of, you know, the dream styling business, I think it's interesting to consider which elements would have been easier to set up, which elements you might have, you know, pushed back to sort of stage 2, 3, 4. So the online component, because you'd already established your physical in-person services, your online component was the last piece of the puzzle. And now what we're working on is being able to communicate that message from a marketing perspective, that there is now another path for those that may not feel comfortable working one-on-one. Let's just talk through those elements. Who do you think your course is perfect for with regards to your audience who have, up until now, you've been talking to them about working one-on-one in their closet and shopping with them?
Yeah. So sorry, repeat the question. What is...
Oh, I couldn't tell you because I'm in my own mind. I think
the difference?
This is what I want to try and say. With your marketing to date, the last few years of you establishing your business, you've told us that, you know, you're talking about working with clients and then jumping in the car afterwards and talking about the gaps, talking about the problem and the solution, and just being really real with them, and then driving those bookings of in-person shop or in-person in their closet, you know, and then doing outfit curation. Now we are switching the message. To the same audience though, because it's the same Instagram accounts, the same email subscribers. So this is interesting for me from a marketing perspective, having to now bring in an additional message, which is actually, we now have a different pathway for people that don't want to work with me one-on-one. So what would you say are the reasons why someone would, like, who would love to do the course versus who would love to work one-on-one with you?
Well, I think people with a little bit more time who want to learn how to do stuff is very different from the people that are time poor and just get overwhelmed and need somebody to help them shop. So there's the people that want to just outsource the help, and then there's the people that want to learn how to do it for themselves. There's a lot of people that don't want to come shopping with us and buy 10, 20, 30 items all at once. They might not have the funds to do that. They might just want to build their wardrobe slowly. They might be rural. They might be international. Let's just go big.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a really, really, really good point, actually. There, for when you're doing a one-on-one shopping session with a stylist, to get the most bang for your buck, you wouldn't just be going with, you know, the budget to buy one top. Presumably you're wanting to go and really use your expertise to build as many or to purchase as many pieces that you can work within, you know, to create multiple outfits.
Yes.
Now that's interesting because you've got customers or clients who really need the help. They want to work with someone. They've got the budget to get some help, but they don't have the budget to buy a completely new wardrobe. So I think that is a really good position to offer a course like yours. So learn it and then apply the lessons as you purchase, you know, on an ongoing basis versus let's do the whole thing together in a condensed experience.
And
well, that's exciting.
Doing work for them in the experience where they're learning how to do the work themselves.
Excellent. Any last sort of lessons or pieces of advice you would give stylists that are still, you know, a one-woman band, you know, they're still running everything themselves, thinking about what you've learned, maybe mistakes you've made, maybe pieces of advice that were given to you. What do you think are some nuggets you'd like to share with everyone today?
Look, I think really in the beginning for me, I was trying to be too perfect, and I was stopping myself from just getting stuff done and just putting stuff out there. And once I let go a lot of that, everything just flowed in a lot more. So it's, you know, don't be scared to put something out if it's not, you know, if you've like muddled a word up or something like that, like it's no big deal. I think we just stop ourselves from doing things because we're trying to get it right and trying to be perfect. But just be you, and you'll attract the clients that really want to work with you. I say no to some clients if they're not the right fit for me. I only want to work with people that really want to work with us. They're choosing us because they love us.
That's great advice. Great advice. Thank you, Chels. That was fantastic.
Thank you.